What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Man Listen. I'm your host, Zach Berger. Gosh, it's good to be back. I know I've been slacking. It's been a couple weeks, but I'm just so happy to be back because we got so much to talk about. It's been hectic between homecoming, traveling, being busy, schoolwork, next semester, getting ready for graduation, all of the above has left me very busy and with not a lot of time on my hands. And when I do have it, I've been chilling. So, with that said, I understand it's frustrating, haven't been uploaded in a while, but here we are, happy to be back and happy to get this going. First off, first thing we got to talk about, let's give a little shout out to the sticker. Huh? Huh? Man, listen, sticker. Shout out my dad. Shout out Mark Berger. Um, for making that sticker. Super cool. Got the logo, brought it up to me for a little early birthday present, and it's super cool. So happy to have it on the good old laptop, and it's really cool to have all this show worked on for so many years. It's cool to have it in some physical form too. Excuse me. So really excited. A lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, so pre-preface, I know I'm trying to upload this on Wednesday or Thursday, probably Wednesday. But I'm filming this on Tuesday, the day after the 18 inning MLB World Series game. First off, we haven't talked playoff baseball in a while, so let's catch back up. I was very wrong. I was right about the NL, actually. I said I wanted the Brewers, but I thought the Dodgers were going to make it. That became the championship series, and the Dodgers easily took care of business against the Brewers. Man, it was almost frustrating how easy it was for them. I mean, the Brewers look non-competitive, but I mean the Dodgers are just the beast of, listen, we've all talked about it, but I feel like people are finally seeing it, how much money they spend, the stars they have. It's showing the Goliath of a team they have between Otani, Betts, Freeman, Yamamoto, Otani pitching, Glass now, Snell. I mean, all these guys, Sasaki, all these guys are so good that it makes it hard for them to stop. In the AL, it was a hard fight all the way through. I mean, the Tigers Mariners series was a top tier series with intense, close games. The Blue Jays seemed unstoppable until they ran into the Mariners. Mariners gave them a run for their money, had some crazy games, crazy walk-offs in that one. Jorge Polanco becoming a hero, George Springer becoming a hero to eventually lead to the Blue Jays winning the American League. And now we get to the World Series, and I'm sad I didn't have a show because I couldn't prove it right. And maybe I'll pull a clip from this week's episode of the Equipment Room Exchange. I don't know. But on the Equipment Room Exchange with Tyler and Jacob, I said, listen, the one thing that's held the Dodgers back is their bullpen. It's funny because we're going to talk about that here in a sec. But the one thing that held them back was their bullpen. But their starting pitchers are these gods that are unstoppable. I said, if you're the Blue Jays, you have to get the starting pitchers out of the game. That's how you win. That's how you win these games. And I was right. Blake Snell, they make him throw a bunch of pitches. He throws a lot of balls. They foul a lot of pitches off. He has like 85 pitches in the fourth inning, and they have to pull him. And then once he gets taken out of the game, Blue Jays thrive and win game one. Game two, you let Yamamoto thrive and kill you, and he throws a complete game, and Dodgers win. So it's even about 1-1. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you've looked like a god. Shohei Otani, you looked like a god. And then we get to game three. 18 innings, 6-5 final score. I did stay up for the entire game. I'm tired today because I did stay up for the entire game, but holy cow, what a baseball game. That might be the best World Series game I've been alive to witness. The game in 2017 that was like 13-11 Dodgers Astros is the competitive one in my opinion. That reigns close. Also the other 18 inning one, but had a little less stake in that one. Because the Dodgers Astros one was so much scoring, so much bombs, but this was high intensity pressure moments, inning in, inning out, and it just didn't stop. Otani 4 for 4 with 5 walks. They intentionally walked him 4 times, really 5 times in all the extra innings. Uh, he reached base 9 times, tied an MLB record, 4 for 4, 2 bombs, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 3 runs. He's 10 for 10 in his last 10 at bats in Dodger Stadium. I mean, we are watching the greatest baseball player of all time, and I think some people are taking advantage of it. I mean, I do too. I sometimes want to sit there and be frustrated and say this, say that about him, but you got to be able to see the success that's happening, and you got to be able to recognize when you're watching the greatest player of all time. And Shohei Ohtani's doing that. Freddie Freeman reliving last World Series dreams of a walk-off home run. Had a chance two times before that. Hit a ball to the warning track with bases loaded and extras, couldn't get out. But then in the 18th, lefty solo shot, dead center, makes it happen. Teoscar Hernandez did great. The Blue Jays bats just completely died in extra innings in the late ones. I got to shout out the pitching. I mean, these guys dominate. After Glasnow and Scherzer got out, I mean, the bullpen shut it down. There's really a couple guys got to give a shout out to. Um, you know, on the Brewers side who lost, really, obviously Bassett and Varland and Hoffman, but those guys are good. They're going to be your shutdown guys. But then Fisher, who barely pitched, Little got the loss. He gave the bomb. But Eric Lauer, 4 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Eric Lauer was a wash-up minor league contract starting pitcher from the Brewers. A lefty, throws kind of slow, got some good movement stuff, kind of washed up. Brewers let him go. Blue Jays get him on a minor league deal, and then he holds him down for almost 5 innings of work. So Eric Lauer, I think obviously because the Dodgers ended up winning, and the next pitching performance I'm going to talk about was so good, you're like you're not thinking about him, but Eric Lauer has to get his flowers. He did amazing on the Dodgers side. Shout out Robleski, former OSU Cowboy, go Pokes. Went 1 2/3. He only given up 1 hit. Roki Sasaki gets 1 2/3. Evan Sheehan gets two and is it Evan? Emmett Sheehan goes 2 2/3, only giving up 3 hits, no runs. Kershaw comes in. Listen, I'm going to be honest. Kershaw came in. They're running out of bullpen guys. Kershaw's old, been struggling, but they got him in to face one better, and he did get one out. I'll give him that. He got one out, but he should have got the one out. Nathan Lucas swinging at, 3 balls on a full count. 3 balls, 3 times. The first two, I get it. Fastball low, you're going to swing. Fastball high, you're going to swing. But the last pitch that he grinded out on was a slider way out of the zone. Should not have chased, but Kershaw got it done. But then the two guys you got to really shout out for the Dodgers is, and I want to make sure I get his name correct, Edgardo Henriquez for the Dodgers, going 2 innings, pretty much perfect. But then the stinking hero of the game, Will Klein. Will Klein, how could you not love this guy? He only got to pitch in 22 career games, 22 career innings. Struggled with command like Henriquez, right? But 4 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He was hyped up. He kept the Dodgers in the game, having a good time doing it. Struggled with command in the regular season, didn't struggle here, and he really became the star. Got out of some high pressure situations, shut it down, and you gotta love that. It hurts no matter what. You knew it was going to hurt. Everyone in the bullpen was used for both teams. Everyone. The Dodgers started warming up Yamamoto, who 2 days ago threw a complete game. Now, that's just the Japanese baseball way. If you've seen anything about how their high schools and their baseball academies train those kids, it's like a military. They stinking, you pitch 100 pitches 3 straight days in the big high school tournament. So, Yamamoto's used to that. And he didn't end up going out, but it's going to hurt because both teams use everyone. Whoever loses, it's going to be really tough, and that happened to be the Blue Jays. You have to win tonight. This will come out after this game, so I don't know if they won. But you have to win tonight. If not, it feels like the Dodgers have it wrapped up. But you never know. Toronto's a fighter. They're fighting heavy. Vladdy's killing it, and Toronto's not going to go down without a fight. I think the big thing, if you're a Blue Jay fan, that you're mad about is the base running. You had like 3 situations trying to take an extra base when you guys feeling really good on deck, and a lot of good things could happen. Nathan Lucas, ball hits off the first baseman's glove, goes towards right field, you know, Lucas, or was it? It was like I think it was Lucas. Ron second, trying to go to third, and Tommy Edman grabs it, guns it over, tagged out. Well, if you don't go for it and you're first and second, next guy walks and his base is loaded with one out, and he could have scored a run. Same thing later. Isaiah Kiner Falefa trying to go for home on a ball hit down the line. And now, granted, Teoscar Hernandez and Tommy Edman do a beautiful relay to get him out at home, but you had Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on deck. You could have had a runner on third for Vladdy in the extra innings. So it's frustrating if you're Toronto fans because I get it. You want to be aggressive. You've been aggressive all postseason long, but you got to give your big bats and big guys opportunities at the plate, and it's just not going to happen, especially when you're not a speed demon. So Blue Jays fans definitely upset with the base running. Can't be mad at pitching. Just hoping that you could have got some more hits in the extra innings. But man, what an insane game! 6-5 final score, 18 innings, walk off home run. The entire bench used for Toronto. Every single person on their well, not every almost every single person on their World Series roster got used except for a couple starting pitchers. So absolutely insane. You'll love to see it. I'm excited to see what happens tonight. But man, what a World Series! It's become a great World Series. A lot of people worried when a couple teams didn't make it, but no, great World Series. Couldn't be happier. Okay, I yapped a lot about that. So water break. Next up on the agenda, Oklahoma sports update. Not too much to talk about. Golf's out there golfing. Tennis getting ready to start up. Soccer struggling as always. But the two big things I want to talk about are baseball and softball also getting ready to start up. But big thing is basketball and football. Start with football and just continue to look hopeless. Obviously, I know how good Texas Tech is, but man, it just looked rough. Just looked rough. I mean, 42-0. Couple easy things. Kickoff return to start off the game. Block a punt, score on the next play. Strip sack, return for a touchdown. All that stuff's just very avoidable, very tough. Talked about football for so long. It's rough at this point. Feels lost, but just got to hope to finish out the year strong and see a little bit of limelight. And really now it's just about who's going to be the next coach and if you can keep any players and who you're going to get to come in to replace this rough team. A little preview. I'm not going to do it this week, but I'm thinking about doing a little speed dating coaching carousel on Man Listen, so that'll be coming up here in a week or two. It'll be really, really fun. Then basketball, guys. By the time this comes out, tonight I'm covering the Cowgirl basketball exhibition, so that'll be yesterday for when this comes out. But really exciting. Next week marks the start of the regular season. Men and women playing Monday, Tuesday, getting some small schools, but it's the start of the regular season. I'm so excited. Both Cowboys and Cowgirls have high expectations. It's funny, Cowgirls ranked 22nd preseason poll. Made tournament team, kind of got a rough seeding with a couple tough losses, but they're expected to do the same, if not better. So Cowgirls have a lot of expectations. Really did a good job reloading in the portal and with some of the young talent they got. So it's going to be really exciting and really, really fun. Excuse me. And then on the men's side, kind of an unexpected amount of hype now that they came off. They played Auburn in an exhibition match, and while everyone knew it was an exhibition match, the fact that you won in overtime 97-95, you're able to put up 97 points. Struggled in their second exhibition against SMU, but a lot of good things to look at. Anthony Roy looks like he's going to be the star of the century here at OSU since, thinking of Cade Cunningham. But Anthony Roy, 6th year from Green Bay, been everywhere, and he is going to be a star. That man can shoot the ball. But then a bunch of guys, Parsa Fala, Isaiah Coleman, Victorious Miller, Christian Coleman, Ryan Karate, Jalen Curry. I mean, there's so many guys that this team has kind of reloaded. It's going to work really well together. Steve Lutz, year one, you could see what he was building with the scraps he had for players, but now kind of his style is out there, and he was really able to spend a full offseason recruiting for that. And I think they're going to be really scary this year and an underrated team in the Big 12. On top of that, Steve Lutz, man, what a recruiter. I mean, he's a straight shooter. I mean, I'm gonna say no bullshit with Steve Lutz. He is straight to it, straight to the point, and you can tell recruits like it. He has 3 recruits in the class of 2026, all 3 4 stars. So insane amount of recruiting, and Cowboy basketball is going to return to the glory days. I know it with how good Steve Lutz, with what he is building, how he's recruiting. Cowboy basketball will be a thing to watch for many years to come, and I think it's going to slowly start this year. So really exciting stuff for them, and excited to see where Oklahoma State basketball as a whole goes. On top of that, Cowboy wrestling getting ready to go next Friday kicks off their first season opener and the home opener as well against Nebraska. Another team that's looking to build on the success of a first-year coach. David Taylor dominated in his first year, getting national champions with Wyatt Hendrickson and Dean Hamidi, and now hoping to try and shoot for a natty title as a team. They got third last year. So, listen, Gallagher Iba Arena is going to be the place to be, which is funny to say because, man, when I got on campus as a freshman, uh, for wrestling, sorry, that might be loud. For wrestling, it was still big. I didn't know much about wrestling, but they weren't insane, and basketball was nothing on both sides. So it was really cowboy football and then your diamond sports. But now Gallagher Iba Arena is going to be the place to be. I mean, it's so much hype around all 3 of these sports. I couldn't be more excited, honestly. It's just showing that OSU athletics as a whole is getting a lot better. National champions in golf, Big 12 champions in equestrian, baseball still fighting, softball still fighting, and football is really the one that's struggling, funny enough, right now. But honestly, I'll kind of take it. I love having a good football program. I know football is what brings in the money, but golly, having all these dominating sports outside of football is really exciting. So Gallagher Iba Arena is going to be jumping this year, and you won't want to miss it if you can make a game. Gosh, it's going to be exciting because the guys, the girls, and the wrestlers are all going to be really good this year, and I'm really excited to get to watch it. Now, transitioning, mentioned OSU college football maybe doesn't have it, but the rest of college football does. So let's kind of talk about this past week. I won't go back through the weeks we missed, but we'll talk about this past week 9, a couple big games. Let's start with the big night one. Man, the Aggies look unstoppable. Texas A&M sitting third in the country, 8-0, 5-0 in the SEC. Just manhandle LSU. Granted, LSU coming off a loss against Vanderbilt. They were kind of struggling, but you were like, hey, it's LSU, it's a rivalry. They'll show up. Maybe for a little bit in the first half, but second half was all Aggies. Aggies scored 21 in the third quarter, 14 in the fourth, to just 7 in the total second half for LSU. Ended up winning 49-25. Marcel Reed, I was high on him last year, high on him this year, and he's really balling out and proving it. So Aggies third in the country, Indiana second, and Ohio State first. But Texas A&M is running the SEC, and it finally kind of seems to be their time. You know what? Happy for them. But some other schools that are pushing their boundary, Indiana took care of business against UCLA. I'll give you that. Alabama kind of took care of business against South Carolina, 29-22. But man, Ole Miss, OU, John Mateer just kind of head scratching a little bit, right? Like there were a lot of open plays. I watched the end of that game where it just felt like Mateer couldn't make the pass, and I know he's coming back from injury. But still, Ole Miss, 8th in the country, 7-1 on the year, 4-1 the SEC. Only loss was the game they let go against Georgia. Georgia had an incredible second half. Rebels couldn't score, but they win this one 34-26. Hold on in the end, score 9 in the fourth quarter to really clutch it. So Ole Miss continues to move on. It's going to be tough for them between Georgia and Alabama and A&M to sit at top of the SEC, but they have a serious chance for the college football playoffs. And Chambliss, the backup quarterback turned star, throws for 315 yards and a touchdown. he gonna be all right. He's gonna keep that starting spot and look really good. Another SEC team though that, funny enough, is no laughing matter and is a serious contender is Vanderbilt. Now sitting at 10. I think they're 9 in the country this week, but were 10th last week. Took down our 15th ranked Missouri 17-10. Now 7-1, 3-1 in the SEC. Only lost to Bama. Diego Pavia finding a way to get it done. Didn't throw for a lot of yards. Honestly, they really struggled offensively, which hasn't been the case very often. We saw their offense thrive versus LSU, but then your defense just holding a ranked Missouri to 10 points. Granted, I know the quarterback got hurt, but still, I mean, you showed up and gave your team a chance, and Pavia ended up coming through, and Vandy wins 17-10. So while it's so many powerhouses you're talking at the top with Ole Miss, A&M, uh, Bama, Georgia, Vanderbilt's heading the conversation too, so don't sleep on them. Virginia has to walk it off in overtime against North Carolina. Ranked Virginia wins after North Carolina tries to go for a 2-point conversion in overtime, and they can't take care of business. 7-1 Memphis has gone between ranked and unranked. As an unranked team, 7-1 beats a ranked South Florida 34-31. That was a big one there. Texas, the frauds at Texas are continue to scrape by, having an overtime win against Mississippi State, who hasn't won a conference game in like 3 years. 45-38, big OT fade ball to win in the corner in front of Barstool's Brandon Walker. So shout out there. Houston beats a ranked Arizona State. Washington beats a ranked Illinois. And then Michigan handles Michigan State. But lastly, with college football, I want to talk about the new Big 12 powerhouses between BYU, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati. All three of these teams looking great. We talked about Texas Tech versus Oklahoma State. Cincinnati, a little under the radar, but they're ranked 21st. Crushed Baylor 41-20. And then BYU, 11th in the country, 8-0, still undefeated, beat Iowa State, who came in as a huge preseason, highly ranked, probably top of the Big 12, crushed some 41-27, won the Holy War last week. BYU looks unstoppable along with Texas Tech. And I just want to say this, for Oklahoma State not being at the top, thinking about this national recognition, thinking about, college football playoff and trying to get an at-large bid, having dominant powerhouses in the Big 12 is so good for the conference. It is so good. While it is very fun to have this, anyone in the Big 12 can win at any given week, it creates kind of a lack of credibility in the sense. Well, if everyone can beat everyone, that means no one's really the best. And it's like, oh, okay, you have these good wins, but then you lose, and Big 12 is kind of just fraudulent. Everyone can beat everyone, right? Well, if you have powerhouses like every other conference, then when those teams trying to build back up, like OSU in a couple of years, beats these highly ranked, now established Big 12 teams, it's going to be so good for the conference. Having the powerhouses of BYU, Texas Tech, maybe Cincinnati, or Arizona State has a good year, Iowa State, K-State gets back. I mean, all these teams that can be powerhouses, having dominance creates the dystopian or the democracy that you want for a conference, so that the high wins can feel just as high and the low losses can actually feel like low losses. So it kind of creates more the normal balance you see in conferences. SEC's in a similar way of that anyone can win, but there's still levels to it. And that's how the Big 12 shaping up to be. Yes, Houston, can beat Arizona State, or Arizona State can go and beat Utah, and all these teams can beat each other, but there are still teams dominating, which makes it a much, much more powerful conference, in my opinion. Okay, let's go to the NFL, but first, let's take another water break. Man, I feel like I'm talking at the speed of sound today, but it's because I'm excited. I got a lot of things to say. It's very exciting stuff. All right, keeping it with football, we talk college. Let's go NFL. Talk about this past week. We were in week 9 of college football, week 8 of the NFL. Chargers take care of business against the Vikings. Not much to say there. The ever struggling Saints continue to get crushed. Shout out announced earlier, about an hour ago from recording this, Tyler Shuck going to get his chance to be the starting quarterback over Spencer Rattler. Shout out the Jets, man. New York Jets, 0-7 to 1-7. Finally getting a win and a close, tight one at that. Fields throws for 244 yards. Breece Hall gets 2 touchdowns on the ground. 39-38 win against the Bengals, who, obviously Burrow goes down. Browning does okay, but they bring in Joe Flacco. He dominated in his first week, but their defense can't hold it up. So New York Jets finally getting the win column. Shout out Aaron Glenn getting in that first dub as the time as their head coach. So shout out them. Texans, my Texans bounced back after a rough Monday Night Football performance against the Seattle Seahawks last week. Looked hopeless on the offense. This week, simplified it a little bit. You were missing Nico Collins, missing Christian Kirk. You had your young bucks, your rookie receivers, your second-year receivers, your 3 Iowa State boys, and Noel, Higgins, and Hutchinson X. And they just looked smooth and collected. 26-15 win over the 49ers. You need to be able to finish in the end zone. Had too many field goals, but it ended up working. CJ Stroud just looked composed, was making the pass, making the easy passes he needs to make. And the Young Bucks just had fun. It was good. Noel had some big catches. Higgins had some big catches. X had some big catches. And the running game was honestly the part that made that work. Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, their stats, 62 yards, aren't going to pop off the score sheet, but they were getting, a good average of 5 to 6 yards a carry. And that was leading to the possibility of more first downs and more of an open receiving game. So shout out our offense. Defense looked good as always, cruising and crushing that 49ers, holding Christian McCaffrey, holding Mac Jones, who's been on kind of a comeback tear, and taking care of business. Looked like the best 3-4 team in the country. Hopefully they can continue to build on that, but a really tough battle next week with the Broncos and then the Colts. So a really, really tough battle. Just got to give some condolences. Was about to sound very bad, but sorry to Giants fans. Cam Scatterboo going down with a scary ankle injury. Hope he's doing okay. Hope he has a speedy recovery, especially with how fast he was taken off, him and Jackson Dart. But Eagles do take care of business there. Dolphins kind of bounce back, finally look like a complete offense for the first time in a while. Tua throws 4 touchdowns, beating the Falcons 34-10. Patriots cruise against the Browns. Bills cruise against the Panthers. Ravens cruise against the Bears. And then shout out 2 teams that wouldn't have guessed to look dominant, but the Broncos and the Colts absolutely crushing the season. 6-2 Denver Broncos crushing the Cowboys 44-24, holding that dominant Dak offense to 24 points and continuing to expose the Dallas defense, scoring 44. Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns on the day, 19 for 29. 247 yards, and J.K. Dobbins with 111 on the ground. And then the Colts, man, out of nowhere, 7-1 on the year. Daniel Jones throws for 3 touchdowns, 272 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 153 yards and 2 touchdowns, 38-14 win. I know it's against the Colts, but wouldn't have expected the new leadership, Indianapolis Colts, after looking so rough last year, to bounce back and start off so dominant. Really scared of them, honestly, but who knows? Maybe the Texans can slow them down in a week or 2. Finally, Aaron Rodgers looking to do what only a few quarterbacks have done in the NFL history and beat every single team in the league. One team left to do it in the Packers of Green Bay, his original team, but he couldn't do it with the Steelers. Fought hard, was leading for honestly most of the game. Going into the fourth quarter, they were up 19-14. But then you let the Packers score 21 in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love leads them, throws for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. End up winning 35-25. So a good, fun week of NFL. Leaders are standing out now as we kind of hit this start of the back half, or really halfway point, right? 16 weeks now. So yeah, week 8, right at the halfway point of the season. A couple front runners I wouldn't have expected to be front runners. A couple teams that I expected to be great, not performing as well. So it's really fun. Excited to see what the second half of the NFL has to offer. But while we're moving to the second half of the NFL and the NBA, we're just getting started. About a week in now, things are looking good. Your Oklahoma City Thunder undefeated so far, looking smooth. Excuse me, at 4-0. Victor Wembanyama looks like an alien, dominating, just crushing people. I mean, it looks like he finally figured it out. He's not playing scared, shooting the three ball well, moving really well. I mean, he is just pure dominance, and it's really scary to see Victor Wembanyama put it all together because that's only a recipe for disaster for the rest of the league. Chicago started off hot, 76ers. It's only 3, 4 games for all these teams. Cooper Flag made his debut. He did go down with an injury this past game, but he started hot. And then my Houston Rockets start 1-2, a tough first 2 games, went to overtime with the Thunder and Pistons, lost both, but some good things to build on. I think not having a point guard is really hurting us, but we're trying to figure out a way around it. KD looks still great in his old age and deep years, and then guys are just going to need to step up. Jeff Okogie, Tari Eason, all these guys going to have to play big time along with them. And Thompson, Alfred Şengün, and Jabari Smith Jr. So excited for my Rockets. I think we'll be good again this year. Just got to figure out a couple bumps and bruises, see who can step up, maybe sign a point guard, and move on from there. Okay, one more topic before our regular scheduled program with our topics. NCAA sports betting. NCAA allows athletes to bet on pro sports starting November 1st. Little news thing. Approved a rule change on Wednesday, allowing athletes and an athletic department staff member to bet on professional sports. There's a lot of things about, doesn't change the rule of, obviously college athletes betting on college sports. Honestly, I'm going to keep mine pretty short and simple with this. I think it's fine. I mean, sports betting has become such a common thing in today's world. So many people do it. There's so many apps for it. And once again, you're not affecting it, right? Pro sport athletes can't bet on pro sports, but I bet they bet on college athletics. And now it's the same thing. College athletes can't bet on college sports, but why not be able to bet on, professional sports? It's not like it's affecting the NCAA. It's not like it's, changing how they go about business. It's just kind of recognizing what a commonality in the sports environment is, right? So it keeps the integrity of the college composition of everything, student athlete, all that. But I mean, I don't do it, but I know so many people who sports bet. So it's just kind of a common thing in today's world. Now the NCAA is seeing that and moving with it, which honestly is nice, seeing the NCAA kind of listen and look at regular things in today's world. It's nice for their student athletes, for them to be able to see that and move along. All right, last couple things. Classic couple three, pop culture struggle bus moment of the week. Before we do that, let's take one more water break. Shout out Divine Water, man. If we design something, we sit on the counter and we'll be all started, I guess. If you happen to click on this video after watching other Daily Collegian stuff, there are commercials for the newscasts, reruns, pretty much the same of them every day. And I'm the sports director up there, so I got to see those every day for our newscasts. And one of them is a water company. Try and get maybe Divine Water to sponsor water breaks. What? I'll talk to the higher ups. We'll see. Okay, pop culture for this week. I'm going to be honest, I personally don't have a pop culture. Haven't really watched anything new, nothing in the pop culture world that's kind of sticking out to me. So we're going to go over to my parents, the Burger parents, Mark and Holly, for their pop culture. And their pop culture is, man, this new Bruce Springsteen movie was disappointing. Both my parents went in excited to see it. Loved the other movies like A Complete Unknown, Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man. And this one was just disappointing. Slow pacing, weak plot, not enough of Bruce Springsteen's amazing music. Too many just kind of childhood flashbacks, dramatic close-ups of his face. I know Jeremy Allen White. I love him. He's a great actor. And, I think they understood, and I understand it's about the making of one album, but it's like this is the first thing he ever put out in a movie version of Bruce Springsteen, that he makes so much great music, and there's so much great stuff. The fact to not even tap in to 95% of it is frustrating. It's tough for big Bruce Springsteen fans, and so with that said, it just kind of was really slow. The music was good when it was there, but still just not enough for a big singer. So, um, it would have been nice to cover a little bit more. So, as the pop culture, kind of felt like an award grab, I guess. And the Burger parents say it was not worth the money spent in movie theaters to go see Springsteen the movie. That sucks. Kind of sounds like maybe it was a struggle to watch, struggle to sit in that theater. So let's cue it up. Struggle bus, hopping on the struggle bus. Who's on the struggle bus this week? It's pretty simple. I got two big things. One will start college football coaches being fired. Brian Kelly fired, Billy Napier, James Franklin, all these guys. Like I said, I'm going to do this coaching carousel thing, and I'll cover more than just OSU later. But unfortunate, man, Brian Kelly, it's tough to be at a school with such high expectations. It's not like Penn State that lost to a bunch of unranked schools, lost to third best team in the country, 10th, losing to ranked teams, but higher standard at LSU. Brian Kelly, his time there just couldn't get it done, couldn't get back to that 2019 Natty, and so he is out. But the big one is Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, both been arrested by the FBI. NBA facing a gambling crisis, arrested in connection with two federal indictments related to illegal gambling on games and rigged poker games that had mafia ties. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and former player Damon Jones facing criminal charges in the wake of a scandal, which also connected to the investigation that led to the banning of former Raptor Jonte Porter. Holy cow. Wow. Insane. I mean, the mafia? Listen, it's interesting. I might have a little bit of a different take than other people because I really separate it. The poker stuff, it's crazy. I mean, shit, it is crazy. But that's your own time. If you getting involved in the mafia, that's wild. But that's on your personal dime, personal dollar. So it's pretty wild. Now, the betting on NBA games, illegal gambling, it's just not okay. We've seen a tick of it. When you think about the NCAA betting thing, and maybe this is a bad time for it. Maybe you see this and say, okay, what if NCAA guys start liking betting so much on pro sports that they're going to illegally bet on their own games? Now, the funny thing is, it's so clear when it happens. Like, people go back and find these clips from games, and it's so obvious. But holy cow, what an insane investigation. Rozier, says not a gambler, his attorney did, but denying his role in the rigged poker games. Emphasize he didn't gamble on basketball games, but I mean, I don't know. It just kind of feels like it all went together. Rigging poker games and betting on NBA games illegally kind of feels like it would match up one and two together. So, pretty wild, pretty interesting. I mean, obviously it's technically still alleged. I mean, they are arrested, so it's definitely, you know, proven that it's true. Obviously, some more stuff's gonna be going about, but yeah, just wild. Especially, once again, the rigged poker things. It's horrible, but that's on your personal dime, personal dollar. Illegally betting and then illegally affecting game results in the NBA, you're affecting so many more people than yourself just for a quick buck or a lot of money. And I don't know. It's gross to me. It's gross. It's gross. Wall Street Journal reported that Rozier is still under investigation, actively flagged from March 2023, a game between the Hornets and Pelicans. They were alerted to unusual betting activity related to Rozier's performance in small game, affect results. It's interesting. You see guys phone it in, but there's a difference with it. So I just think this is wild. The whole thing is so insane to me. If I had more details, I'd probably go even more into depth about it. But I don't know. Insane to get involved with the mafia. Insane to bet on NBA games. It's just horrible. It's horrible. That's the truth. So Rozier and Billups, your time is up. You got caught. Now facing the consequences, and it makes me so curious to see if this opens up so much more about other people. And listen, you live in a celebrity world now. Being NBA players, you can rule a lot and have a lot of effects. Get involved with the wrong people. It'll be interesting to see if this is just a one-off thing, but didn't see that. Jonte Porter to Terry Rozier, or are we going to see a slowly unraveling thing about this in betting? I said betting is getting so common. I said it earlier. Could affect in the negative way. Lastly, man, listen, moment of the week. Man, listen. Homecoming was a blast. It's been a long semester, I won't lie. There's been a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff happening. But what I needed was homecoming. What I needed was the parents to come up to Stillwater for the weekend. Parents came up, had an amazing time, an amazing reset. Got to do so much fun stuff, sign competition, walk around, meet Bullet, meet BB. Parents went to JC Hoyd practice. Just got to spend time with them, walked around downtown, and it was just an amazing reset. While the game ended up being a loss, there was a lot of fun with it, and still had a great time, great seats, super fun time. And it was so needed to have them there. On top of that, we had our big Friday newscast for the Daily O, our homecoming show. We submit awards every year to the Oklahoma Broadcast and Education Association and national competitions. And we've never won newscast. We placed for the first time last year for in Oklahoma, and we feel like this year we had the chance. And man, everyone showed up. I couldn't have been more proud. We put everything we had and everything we are capable to do with our resources and money and funding and all that to put on the show we put on. Everyone was at their highest level, from me in sports, the main anchors on news, the cut-in anchors, our live shot, and Alyssa Brandon, the guy who made the package, Landon Pats, and our crew and technical director and producer. Everyone was on top of their game, and I walked out of that Friday show just on top of the world. Couldn't have been more proud. If we don't win, we don't win, but I know we gave it our all, and that was the best product that we could put out, and I couldn't have been more proud. So homecoming was an absolute blast. Got a little sad, teary-eye doing Friends in Low Places with my parents, knowing it is one of my last, if not my last, because I might be covering times doing that as a student at OSU. The final homecoming as a student at Oklahoma State has officially come to an end. It was sad, but it was amazing. And now I get to enjoy HoCo for what it is, a homecoming for all alum that I'm eventually... voice crack, that I am soon and eventually going to be. So good. Parents being in town was amazing and couldn't have had a better time. So man, listen, last week was a blast. That's all I got for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm happy to get this one back up and going. Another show. We'll try and keep up with consistency. Maybe get some guests. We'll see. Trying slowly but surely. But that's all I got for now. I'll see you hopefully next week, maybe in 2 weeks. Who knows? Keep staying tuned on socials and on the Daily O Collegian YouTube channel to see when we post. I'm Zach Berger. Man, listen, have a great day, everybody.